How's everybody doing? Alfred Flores, CEO, President of New Age Electric. Today, we are going to talk about power substitution. Now, I had one of the viewers email me. I won't say any names, but he was trying to figure out a way to use this. It's, out of the box. It's set up with only like 4 items, and then, in his situation, it's confusing. What it is, it's similar to what substitute items, substitute assemblies, substitute designation. It works the same way, but in this case, you can substitute large amounts of items and just set up rules so you could just do a one click and it just transfers everything over. If you don't know what substitute items or substitute assemblies and designations, watch the video. Substitute assemblies, it's very simple, very self-explanatory. But we'll jump into it and I'll show you what substitute items, substitute assemblies, where you can find that at really quick. So we're going to jump into this. Okay, so if you have an item here in your bid, you can right click it and you're going to see these options down here. Substitute items, really quick, is if you find an item here. So if it's in your bid already, all you got to do is find where it is. Like let's say if it was 3/4 inch conduit and you want to change that assembly, the line items to 1/2 inch, you just simply go in here, click the 1/2 inch, hit substitute, substitutes it over. The other way to do it, if you already have your assembly set up, you can substitute assemblies. So if you have that assembly here, you just go back into here, find it. So in this case, I don't know where that one particularly is, but you just say pick it here, receptacle, and then find the new one you want to put in there. Click it, and it'll substitute it out for you. Everything inside, whatever this is, everything built in here, everything built in there, it'll just completely swap over. Now, for substituting power substitution, it's gonna get really complicated, and I suggest, if you haven't did this before, create a new one here. Just hit add and new and kind of play with it. If you want to just add a new one here, hit add, and then if you want to copy everything that's here, just click one of these here, and then that way you can play with it, because these rules get very complicated, and if you don't know what these mean, open up your help menu and you will get this over here, and then just simply type in whatever you need help with. So in this case, that groups tab, I type that in groups. It gives an explanation of everything here so you can understand. So that drop down menu, let me hit this back up again. So each one of those are found right here. So if I click here, you're going to see all those actions for group actions. You're going to see the item occurrence, those 2 actions there, 4 actions here, 3 actions there. Now, I know what a majority of these do, except children matching. I have no idea what this is. Even in the help menu, it kind of doesn't tell you what that means. And I did a few tests on different things, and it really didn't change anything, so I don't know what this particular means. But so groups, let's jump into this groups. All right, you can create a group and you can make it as specific as you want. In this case, out of the box, you're gonna get 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch EMT. So if you wanted to swap out everything from a 1/2 inch assembly to a 3/4 inch assembly, you can do that on one click of a button. How do you do that? Okay. Groups. Groups means this. You want to make sure that if you're doing EMT, even if it was heavy wall or whatever the case may be, you just want to create these particular groups because they make sense when you come back in here. So if you want to do everything, conduit and fittings, hangers, conduit bodies, it swaps out all at once. You make it into each line item in these groups. Now, I would leave everything as is here. Your group action. Group action means if it finds it, it replaces it if matched. How many times it's going to do it, the occurrence. Now, item occurrence, and I can read this to you. It's, like I said, they get really confusing. But most of the stuff you see here, you can't keep alone. So, item occurrence once. So, here it says, if the item is found in the takeoff multiple times, only the first matching occurrence of the item will be marked as matched. And then it gives you an example. For example, a certain wire is found in a takeoff based on length and then again based on count. And the applicable item criteria rule is match item only. In this instance, only the first match based on the length will be marked as matched. So it's telling you that, and what I can based on that is that if you do it length and count, it should go over. Now, multiple times, if the item is found in the takeoff multiple times, then all of the matching occurrences of the item will be marked as matched. Using the example above, both occurrences will be marked as matched since they meet the rules. This will be used most commonly when item criteria is set to match item only. So, if we jump back over here, you're going to see that most of the stuff is once. I think the conduit is only once because conduit is length and not count, but it's kind of confusing. So, in my opinion, I would leave it as multiple times. If you come over here, it's going to change it multiple times, except conduit bodies. And I think that's because conduit bodies is not based on length. But then again, I haven't played with these setups though. So you can't leave it in here. I'm not going to go into great lengths of talking about this, but these are pretty good as is. But I just want to explain how you set this up. These are all typed in manually. These are not like something out of the box that it's linked to anything. You can keep adding stuff. All you're doing is this. All you're doing is calling it a name. What matters is when you get to items. So that's groups. Once again, create a group based on the conditions that you want. If you want to swap out a certain conduit size for another conduit size with all the different fittings and hangers, conduit bodies, and boxes, and you can keep adding and adding and adding. Now, materials. So again, this is where you want to put in what kind of material it is. If you want to put EMT, you could do EMT and call it, EMT ½ inch, and then you could just keep adding them and adding them. Sizes, in this case, they put all because they want to just do it all at once. You could get really specific. You could put certain sizes only. It's going to take forever, but they did it a shortcut way, saying we want everything ½ inch, everything 3/4 to swap all over all sizes. Now here is where the magic really happens. Now that group size, that's all that stuff you did over here. So you drop down the box, you click the one you want to work with first. So we're going to say conduit and fittings. And then the size. The size is all because that's what the out of the box did. From, it's where the takeoff is from. So we're going to say it's ½ inch because that's in our takeoff was a ½ inch. and this is just a scenario that you're picking a rule pretty much. And then we want to do 3/4. Once you click that, the out of the box, they already have this set up. So you see everything that's 1/2 inch that's a conduit and fitting was manually put in here. Now, to be able to do this, you hit select so you can get into this box, and you know it's selected because it's kind of highlighted here. And then you could go in here and then, you know, come in here on this side and just start double clicking everything that's a 1/2 inch. It's time consuming based on the breakouts that you got, but that's how they do it. And you do it once and you do it right, you don't ever have to go back in here again. One thing you should keep in mind is that, which is very strange, and I really don't know why, is the items here have to match up with the number of items down here. Don't ask me why. I don't know why that's like that in this case. There's probably some kind of logic behind it that I don't know. That's probably a Trimble question. But essentially, that's how that works. Now, remember, you still have the rest of these. Hangers, whatever, you know, you got some kind of support that's in here that matches down here. So 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. What's next? Conduit and bodies. Got LB, some covers, neoprene gaskets, weatherhead. So that should match down here. And then last but not least, boxes. From what I could see, every box with a 1/2 inch opening. Every box with a 3/4 inch. And then they got some combos down here too. So it has to match. You can come in here anytime and, you know, you click over here. And I don't know why, if you click this, you see everything goes away. You have to click over here. And this is where everybody gets confused because it just crashes when you try to do stuff. Like if you double click in here and then you try to move around really quick and click something, it just crashes. You have to reopen. It's the first time I've ever seen Accubid just crash on its own. So you click here and then you can hit remove item, which gives it like asterisk, and it says remove item. You can delete it. You can move up. You can move down. So if I go like this, move up, click it back, move down. And then when you're done manipulating this, you always want to hit save substitution. When you try to do something else, it should prompt you to do it, save it anyway. And let's see what else. And that's about it. And then you could do this for all the sizes that you pick. So, and see, it's asking me to save it. I'm going to say no. So 3/4 inch, and I set this up for 3/4 and 1 inch, just in case that if I was doing, let's say, low voltage rough-in all over, and then they changed it and said, oh, we don't want 3/4 inch stub-ups, we want 1 inch stub-ups. So I set it up that way already, and I did it for conduit and bodies. Yeah, so it basically just swaps out all the setups I got here, and it just swaps it out for the 1 inch, and then you're done. It's a one click. Instead of going to substitute items and then just doing, you know, 1 inch or 1 inch, and then I go in the conduits and then do 1 inch connector, 3/4 inch connector, and you swap it on individual. It's just that's why it's called power, because it's more like you're doing it all at once. And I'm going to show you a demonstration because I have this set up for 3/4 inch, and it worked pretty smooth. So it took the counts, the factor 1 counts, it took all of this over. You know, it's a count, it's factor 1 and factor 2, 1, 1, 1. Whatever I have in factor 1 went over here. So these completely match. So I will jump over to Accubid really quick, and we will show you a quick demonstration. So I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to be in a different database so I can jump back and forth and show you. Okay, so in this case I had already did it the 1 inch, but I'm going to show you what it did. Oh, and then in this case, I can't do it. So I'm going to pause it really quick. I'm going to jump in to another database, and then I'm going to show you how to swap it out, because I believe in this one, because the power setup is not set up vice versa, and I believe that's not how it works. Oh, cancel. Let me go back into here. And I don't believe it works vice versa if you do it like this. Yeah, see, nothing showed up. I have it set up where it's like that. So here, let's try. I've never tried this before going back the other way. Let's see if it does it. If you changed your thing here and it's trying to match things, just hit continue and just hit OK, and it'll just bypass it. There's things that I changed that are not in here no more. So if we hit the 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch and we hit the all button, let's see what it did. See, it didn't do nothing. Alright, I'm going to pause it really quick. I'm going to jump into the other database, and I have to close out the other database, and then I'm going to jump in here really quick. Give me 1 second. Alright, okay, we're back. Okay, so for instance, we're gonna do one of these really quick. I'm gonna just say my voice and data, and then I'm gonna just do the well, I want something 3/4. Well, let's just do a commercial spec grade. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna swap out everything for 1/2 inch to 3/4 to 1 inch. So 3/4 and to 1 inch, and you see I can't select anything else because it's already set up. The 1/2 inch one is set up. If I come in here, I can't select anything else because I only set up from the front and two. You hit all, and we're gonna swap out. And if I jump too quick, hold on a second, I'm just gonna show you really quick. So there's that 3/4 inch set up right here. So it's gonna power substitute all of these right here. You don't know some of these part numbers, look them up. This is certain things that I use in the field for this. I'm gonna hit abort, and now we're gonna swap this out in one click of a button. If you have multiple assemblies, all you do is just highlight them all, and then just hit right click, substitute items. I'm sorry, power substitution. We're keeping that alone. 3/4 to 1 inch, all, substitute, no, and we're done. Come in here and substitute all that 3/4 inch conduits and fittings to the 1 inch fittings now. Very simple. It's a little faster than going in here and saying substitute items, and then one for one you gotta, I have to go here. I want to do the 1 inch for here, and then I go to 3/4, and then I hit substitute, and then you have to go to connectors and then find the connectors, and so it takes a little time doing it the other way. Power setup is pretty fast, but like I said in my previous tutorial, substitute assemblies, if you have things already set up, you don't have to really use power substitution if your assemblies are already set up. And if you're working out of the box, yes, you do have to come in here and set all the stuff. It takes a long time to set these up, and yeah, but you do it once, you don't have to come back and do it again. So that also works for if you want to swap out for I'm gonna close this pause this really quick. I'm going to jump back over to the other. Actually, I think I could just stay in here really quick. So same thing if you want to swap this out for... Give me 1 second. It's going to keep asking me about this, and you can just say, okay, okay. So same thing if you want to do heavy wall to EMT. There's some other things in here because this is the database that came with it. I thought there was something in here and there wasn't. But yeah, if you want to do heavy wall, it's the same setup here. You know, you swap out the EMT for here, and then you just put heavy wall, and then you just basically set it up in here, and then you could say, you know, conduit bodies, and then you could put all, and then from 3/4 inch, and then you just put all your 3/4 inch EMT here. And then over here, you just put 3/4 inch, and then whatever that 2 is, now you're going to put all your heavy wall. It's that simple. You could put all the heavy wall stuff, you know, the conduit bodies, everything you can throw in here. Now, one of the questions was, I want to swap out, you know, aluminum for copper for aluminum. And you know, keep in mind, you just don't swap out copper for aluminum. You have to make sure the ampacity is matched. You have to go back to your chart, and whatever ampacity is for, you know, a number 200 is not going to be the same on aluminum. So, and then the size is smaller or bigger, so you're going to have the adjustment, because that's how you're actually giving, you know, labor savings too when you're offering that to the client. You know, most of the electricians would tell you that, and a lot of people, you know, experience estimating for a long time will tell you that too. We don't do that here in Chicago. We don't swap out aluminum. They just don't like using that here. Not to say that you can't. It's just that the engineers and they all prefer to strictly use copper. So yeah, any other questions on this, give me a shout, drop a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And once again, this is Alfred Flores, CEO, President of New Age Electric. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again.